Oh yeah. He's doing it on purpose, getting a little wanker. We're going out. And we're so, I f***ed up, guys. I honestly just wish I bought a disco. Good morning, everybody. It's about time we get some bloody mods done on this Suzuki. I've spent so long just doing boring, annoying wiring, and I want to do some cool stuff, and I want to get out. Well, I've actually got some bad news as well. There's some more wiring issues with it, but I'm just kind of forgetting it doesn't exist at the minute. So it's early in the morning, I'm up early, I want to get all this done today. I've not had time to make breakfast, so thank God for Y Food. And Y Food is a smart food, meaning it's not only good for you, it's also good for the environment. Although it's actually intended as a meal replacement drink, I actually use it as a meal add-on. Now when I'm going to the gym and stuff, I always want to do protein shakes, and I actually haven't found a drink which tastes as nice as Y Food or has as much nutritional value, especially when it comes to the protein and the calories. It's got over 30 grams of protein and more than 500 calories as well. That's my keys. I'm always on the run losing things like my keys, and I never really have time to cook. It actually stresses me out thinking about cooking things. So Y Food is honestly amazing for someone with a life like me. Only do they have bottles of drinks like this, they actually have powders, bars, and they have loads of vegetarian and vegan options as well. My favourite is by far the banana. When I actually get these, I actually hand them out to people just to see their reaction, because honestly they taste that good, and I'm not even joking about that. I'm like, try one of these. Now if you want to see if I'm being serious about how good Y Food tastes, head over to Y Food. For God's sake. Head over to Y Food and use code Lee-YouTube and you'll get 10% off everything on the website, and use my link in the description. Now let's pull this inside and get doing some mods, because I want to go off-roading, so I haven't been in ages. Honestly, this car is really starting to piss me off. It won't start. It ran out of fuel, so I got some fuel. I've put loads of fuel in, and it won't start. This car is a fucking joke, mate. I'm starting to feel I got ripped off big time. I'm gonna have to take these Jubilee clips off and see what the hell's going on. I might even have to I'll just put this lower at the bottom of the car. Maybe it just needs like the fuel priming through or something. I don't know. So I'm going to take this Jubilee clip off, put that hose lower than the fuel tank, and hopefully fuel starts coming through. But what, God's sake, I ain't got time for this, man. Right, so I took the fuel line off here. It's not getting fuel there. The filter is fine. So I've come to the back of the car, and I've just took the fuel line right off the fuel pump. So let's turn the fuel pump on and see if it's even pushing fuel out there. Nah. So it's either not sucking through the fuel or the fuel pump's I honestly don't have time for this. I really don't. I really don't have time for this. This car has been an absolute nightmare since day one. I honestly wish I never bought it. I honestly just wish I bought a disco. You can see why people buy discos, and it's just because they work. I don't even know what to do before, because it's like, it's working. Like, I can hear the fuel pump working. It's just the only other thing now is just to take the tank off. Like, I don't know what to do. Right, so we're thinking we might have to suck fuel through to the pump. And I don't want a repeat of what happened on the motorbike. So Steve's got this apparatus, so we're going to turn the pump on, suck it through. Right, fuel is constantly coming through there, so I think, and that's quieter. I think it's worked, so I'll turn that off. Right, it's back on the fuel filter. This fucking, honestly. Right, we ready? Oh my God! The fuel is here. The fuel's coming through? Yeah. Is the battery jumper on? Yep. What a piece of shit! Anyway, now we can start what I wanted to start hours ago. Well, it didn't take hours, but I mean, I'd actually want. Anyway. We actually need to start modifying the Suzuki, because we're going out in it. I mean, I've got some bad news to show you in a second, so I'll show you some bad news. But it's going to get to the point where I'm going to want to go out in it. There is a pay and play on the 10th of March, and I'm half tempted. Well, I probably am. Well, I most definitely am. Just going to trailer it there. I want to get out in it, and it's looking less and less like this car is going to get an MOT anytime soon. And I'll be showing you why in a second. But let me just get this mod, which I've had since day one. out of the X5. Now obviously a key part to going off-roading is you don't want to get any water in the engine, because water in the engine doesn't like, well, engines don't like water in the engine, and we can hydrolock things. And even more importantly, petrol cars definitely don't like water. It's a bit dark. Did you do that on purpose? Wanker. So here we have a Snorkel. Now we're going to have to fit this in the main unit bit here because my bit is totally full of, well, what can I just say? Name me a better duo of cars, people. 190e, E30. Oh yeah. He's doing that on purpose, getting a little wanker. And we're going to fit the Snorkel because we're going out and we're definitely... Is he taking a fucking piss?
The first thing we've got to do is just unbox the Snorkel and just kind of put it where it needs to be and get an idea of what we're going to have to do to match it to the intake, and also where the hell we're going to be putting it through the body.
So clearly the kit that we've got isn't actually meant to be like a plug and play, because this end is totally different to the end that we've got in the kit. It doesn't really matter, it's okay, because what we can do is we can actually just, well, we've got tons of exhaust shit upstairs lying around and things like that, so we could probably just use some like exhaust pieces as kind of things to clamp down on and things to reduce and things like that. So I think we're going to have to cut this a little bit wider. I've lost that thing. I lose everything I touch. I actually lose everything I touch. There's something wrong with me. I've not even been anywhere. So this is going to sit through there somewhere like this kind of thing. That bit's going to sit on there, so as you can see it's totally different. What we can do is if we spin this round, we've got a little bit of a bend there, and then we can somehow connect these two. And this is actually quite a hard rubber, so worst case, I mean it's not ideal, but worst case we can just bolt this soft bit of rubber to this hard bit of rubber, and that will seal. But it'd be ideal to bolt them both down to something metal. But it's not turbo, it's hardly sucking in any air, there's not going to be much pressure in there, so we will be able to do that. But first of all, let's get a hole saw out and let's drill a hole through the body. Don't believe this, I've lost my hole saw set. I've just had it now. Why does everything hate me? You don't understand how demotivating this is when everything I touch just goes missing. Measure no times, cut twice. Fucking hell, that's a bit loud, isn't it? I feel a bit sorry for everyone, sorry. This is taking the piss. I honestly don't understand why other tools other than grinders exist. A grinder is the only tool that works. I'm literally positive of it. I'm about to just cut a square in this bastard in a minute. Just bang, 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 off you go. Get a grinder. You don't need any other tool. Nothing works. Oh, yeah, a grinder. A grinder is the only tool that works. Honestly, I'll say this and I'll die. A grinder is the only tool worth buying. Thanks, Charlie.
I was bored of hearing the noise.
I was bored of making that noise.
So since the plastic Snorkel is going to be going through here, we kind of want to smooth it as much as possible, because obviously we don't want the metal to be eating through the plastic.
So I've just gone in the back and we've got some like exhaust pipe like this. So this is like a 45 degree, which will work perfect. It's the perfect internal diameter. So that'll go in there. And then we can have that a little bit of a bend just like that. We're going to cut this here, bolt that down to there, and then that's going to be our Snorkel done. So guess what? Let's get the grinder out.
Just to fully get rid of the sharp metal, all I've done is just got some vacuum line and just literally cut it through the middle and just kind of place it over the edge. And then just to make it a bit more secure, I've securely sealed it with sealant, super glue.
So my plan is, there's two little holes on this bracket here, but they're really small. And I don't really want to drill through the roll cage. And even if I do drill for the roll cage, I don't think I've got enough room there to put a little screw and nut in. So we're going to have two things, either having like this that just doesn't really go with the angle of the car, or like this, meaning that it doesn't really go with the angle of the car there, but at least it looks a lot better. So what we're going to do is, so on this little bracket here, there's actually 2 bolts here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this bracket to the roll cage, and then we can literally just unbolt it off that. So this bracket's going to be solid on the roll cage, and that's going to just be able to put it in the position that we want, and it's going to be a lot easier.
So what we're going to do is we're going to tack it in place, and then we're going to remove the... Wait. No! Remove the plastic!
So, I f***ed up, guys. In my head, I was going to tack it, take the snorkel off, and then weld the rest. And at some point, I forgot to do that. And it's basically it just set the snorkel on fire, melted all the rubber, and now there's a massive hole in it. As you can see, I've currently got it with a cable tie. It's all melted rubber here. It's a terrible weld. There's a massive gap, and I have to try and bridge it. But as you can see, all the melted rubber here. So I'm hoping that I've just cable tied. I'm hoping that it dries solid, and I can just, this bit's okay. That bit's sealed. But I'm hoping that it dries solid. There's a bit of a gap here. See, my finger's just going through it. I'm hoping I can just put a ton of silicone there. I mean, it's not ideal. In my head, I wanted to take it off after I tacked it, and then I just forgot, and I just sent it with a welder, and I was like, oh god. And then first of all, the gas weren't on properly, so it come out like bird shit, and then I had to go over the welds again, and it doesn't look ideal, I'm not going to lie, but a bit of paint would be great. But I'm going to have to put a ton of sealant in here, because there's a gap here and a gap here. Oh, for f***'s sake. Why am I so shit at everything? It looks terrible. I've coated the hell out of it in sealant. It looks absolutely terrible. Sometimes, do you know when you just do those things and you just think, why am I so stupid? And then it's just too late, and then you got to live with how stupid you feel. But not only that, when you do things like this, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's stupid, you know. I'm thick. Yeah, no one will know. I then have to film me being stupid, and then I have to post me being stupid to 100,000 people. And I then have to have keyboard warriors tell me how stupid I am for the next 3 days, when I've just admitted how stupid I am anyway. It's quite annoying. Let me show you how bad this looks. First of all, look at the state of those welds, because look at the gap I had to bridge. I mean, it looks worse, I've not cleaned it off. And then I forgot to turn the gas on, so then I have to go over the one. Anyway, look at the state of this, mate. Look at the state of that. I'm really not happy with myself. But it is what it is. Look at the state of the car. Do I really give a shit? No, definitely not. And then last but not least, turn this around, because when you have this forward, if any water goes in, it just defeats the whole object. So turn that around. So that's how to install a snorkel, everybody. Oh, Gary's not going to be happy with this. You won't believe what I've done, Gary. In my head, I said, well, let's just tack it with the plastic on, and then let's take the plastic off, because it's going to get hot, right? Yeah. Don't move it, don't pull on it.
Smell the plastic.
I could feel it. Set a light, I was like... Yeah, a bit of black paint. Never knew anything was not factory, mate. But anyway, I didn't tell you the bad news. The bad news was, remember that we spent about 3 whole days wiring all these lights. I finally got all the wiring done. I was like, oh my god, we could probably, take it for an MOT and throw some brake fluid in. And then it was raining outside, and then I realised the wipers don't work. So I'm probably gonna have to not ideal, is it? So I'm gonna go and work on another car, which gives me a little bit more sense of achievement. So we are going to take this off road on the 10th of March. 10th of March, we are going out on this. So I mean, hopefully it's not raining, because I've got no wipers. Hopefully I'll have time to fix it before that. So anyway, that's how to not install a snorkel, everybody. So, but as Thomas Edison said, I didn't fail 100 times. I didn't fail 100 times fitting a snorkel. I just found 100 ways on how not to fit a snorkel. So we love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Listen to the intake noise, boys. God, big power.